I know that I have already talked about this before, and to no avail, so to reintroduce it now is to court futility, and I have no interest in doing that. What it amounts to, proverbially, is beating a dead horse, and we can agree that is a revolting image and that there is nothing to be gained from doing that. The dead horse in this case is the concept of royalty, and even though it is deceased or extinct, it somehow keeps popping up like a zombie, and rather remarkably to me, instead of being horrified at the sight of it, people bow and scrape and pay obeisance, which confounds and infuriates me, and that is why I'm back here now, trying to sound the alarm. The exact situation was this. A royal couple from England crossed the Atlantic Ocean to pay us lucky folks a visit here in America. The royal couple seemed like decent enough people. Like good Brits, he's reserved and she's rather charming, but I can't imagine that there was anyone here in America who was eagerly awaiting their arrival. They came anyway. Of course they did. Royalty does what it wants to do. Prerogative, that's the very sign of royalty. That's why we got rid of them. When they were here, they had a set itinerary, making visits to places, and at this one venue they had a meeting with a famous athlete. He's a big black man, and they are a very pale and tiny royal British couple. So there was a touch of awkwardness, since they were strangers, and physically so unlike. But they overcame it, chatted a bit, and then the necessary photographs were taken to mark this auspicious occasion. The athlete, trying to be as congenial as possible, gently laid his hand on the shoulder of the lady, attempting to display in this gesture some cordiality. People would see the photograph of them together and think, "Isn't that nice? Look at that, so friendly." When the pictures were distributed to the world by the media, quite the opposite reaction occurred. Shock waves formed. The athlete, some people declared rather coldly, had committed a serious breach of etiquette when he placed his hand on the lady's shoulder. In short, the rule is this: royalty is never to be touched by a commoner. And that is what brings me here, to say, seriously, are things so bad over there in Great Britain? Have you sunk so low in your own esteem that your only claim to greatness lies in having a queen and a royal family? And does that massive delusion really help? It's embarrassing, or it ought to be. To me, it's insufferable. I'll submit that the only breach of etiquette at that occasion was committed by the people who were presenting themselves as royalty. The athlete is a famous player, a celebrity, a star, but he too is just a person, and he is certainly not a commoner. Commoner, of course, is what offends me so. But I am really less offended than I am pitying the poor British, who apparently still think in those obtuse terms. England still has a House of Lords and a House of Commons, and while that probably states the truth of their social union, it is a shameful message. It's the 21st century, England. You can do better than that. I don't mean to say that America represents much of an advance. We don't. But at least we're not still playing that pathetic royalty game. We did manage to get past that. If the so-called royals had any dignity or grace at all, they would put an end to the sad charade, close up their palaces, hawk their jewels, and try to face life on human terms. I don't see that happening. Special treatment has spoiled them, and they will cling to the advantages that fate has given them as long as they can. And people, the commoners, who support them, are too stupid to simply stop and put an end to it. Therefore I'm back to my no avail, my dead horse. Someone asked me yesterday why the penny was still around. I could ask this very same question about royalty. Neither is worth a cent, and yet they persist.